It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast, the drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast.
2, 3. Dun, dun.
It's the Odd Drunk Podcast. That was weird. Felt very half-assed.
Yeah. Let's try that. Let's try it with...
I'm so tired.
Yeah. We've both been busy with school and work.
God.
And trying to fit this podcast in. Okay, one more try. No, never mind. But anyways, we are okay, it may not sound like it, but we are excited to be here. In fact, I debated for a while, just all day, should we actually record today? We have a backup, but no, we gotta talk about...
We can't not talk about it.
We got to talk about it. It's in the title. Elden Ring is out.
Yeah.
I've been talking about it. You've heard me talk about it on the show for a while, any chance I get. And now it's finally out. And Miyazaki, that little...
You little foxy little minx.
You little minx, you did it again, didn't you? With the help of George R. Martin. And that's probably why he's still writing a Song of Ice and Fire?
Yeah. Song of Ice and Fire.
So, yeah. You can think of this as a review, as just a loose discussion. It's going to be very loose because I've got to play it a good amount, like about... Well, really, in the scope of things, compared to everyone else, not a good amount.
Yeah.
I've put in about 8 to 12 hours. I think I have 10 hours on my second character, because my first one, I just dropped. For a really good reason, actually. But this last Sunday, that's when I put the most time. Probably shouldn't have, but damn it, I did, and I love it.
Probably around 8 hours in, and that's because last Friday I was able to put in like 6 hours.
Squeeze it in. Yeah,
and then every other day I've played like 45 minutes.
But then here we are talking Elden Ring. Before we jump into, and this is going to be a shorter episode than normal.
Yeah,
which maybe you'll appreciate. Maybe we should start doing that more. I don't know, but.
We'll see how it goes.
Before we get into it, I've got a beer from Breckenridge Brewery. The first time it's been on this podcast, the Hazy Pilsner. It's actually quite good. Like, I'm not usually a Pilsner guy.
Yeah.
But it's smooth. It goes down easy.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a
little too easy, if you ask me.
Got from Big B's hard cider, Snow Days.
Nice.
Spiced hard cider.
Nice.
It's pretty decent.
And yeah, I thought about doing like a themed drink, like Estus Flask or something like the Dark Souls episode, but I really don't need to be getting that drunk tonight. And I was lazy. So those two things, this
was what
down
was
the
in
line.
My fridge.
The Dark Souls lore episode, by the way, check that out. That's been doing well. That's an older one. It's nice to see the older ones do well.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who's going back and listening to those.
Yeah. So I can't say when, but when I get to play more of Elden Ring and when Vadi Video does more videos on it.
Yeah.
You could probably see an Elden Ring lore video in the future. Definitely more Dark Souls lore, though, because that's already all out there.
Yeah.
But and also, we're going to do our best not to spoil anything, which will be pretty easy.
It's not like...
Because, I mean, unless we...
It's not like easy to spoil.
Unless we quote exactly what NPCs say or like what items descriptions say, we're not going to really spoil much.
It's in your classic From Software.
I mean,
style,
you can get the gist of it.
Just
though.
kind of throws.
It does
hints at
have
you.
more story than the other ones. Like there's like cutscenes with certain bosses.
Yeah,
And it does feel grand and epic. Like, it really is. But Miyazaki, I mean, all the FromSoft games have always felt grand and epic.
yeah.
But this one,
it's on a different level.
it's on a completely different level. Like, honestly, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I consider myself to be a Souls veteran. Not because I'm good necessarily, but I've beaten all of them in New Game Plus, all of them except for one. Well, actually, no, that one doesn't count. There's only 2 Dark Souls games, and then there's Bloodborne. Dark Souls 2, get out of here. No, no, I know it has its fans, but honestly, well, I can't wait for you to tell the listeners about
I'm a Dark Souls newbie.
experience. But yeah, guys. It meets the expectations. If you don't want to listen anymore and you want to just go download it and play it, play it.
Just do that.
Get the game.
Go do that.
And even if what's really great, and Colton can speak for this, if you're not into Souls games, if you've never even played them, this is the most accessible.
Yeah.
Souls
That's
are
so far what I
From
like
Software
about
game.
it is it feels accessible, even though it's not easy.
And that's what I also love about it. It's more accessible, but it still remains to be a Souls, style game.
And
like, it's hard.
Just from playing over the last bit, I think this is a good game for me to be playing right now because what I like is it doesn't feel like it's forcing you to.
It doesn't force you to
do anything.
Anything.
There's no pressure.
The only pressure you get is like if you're really trying to get a certain item or you want to get to the next area.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got to one of the next big regions, but you have to beat a really hard boss to do so.
Yeah.
But what's great about it, let's say you're fighting a really hard boss and you just can't get past them and you're getting frustrated. Well, you don't have to be angry all the time because then you can just go off, explore, do little side quests, find items, and the quest, it's still From Software. You talk to a guy, and he tells you something, and you have to really listen because you don't get any quest markers or anything like that. If they say, oh, do this thing at this place, and then come back.
If you didn't hear them.
No, yeah, if you didn't have the subtitles on. Too bad.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, the exploration is astounding, actually. Which does make sense because From Software, they've always been great at like crafting good worlds, good like castles,
I will
dungeons,
say,
and whatnot.
A few things I've seen people say online.
Level design.
With the level design and the open world and things like that. One of the things I've been hearing thrown around is like it's Breath of the Wild for adults. I disagree with that heavily. I don't think it's very Breath of the Wild like. I can see inspiration, but I think the way ultimately that Elden Ring handles its open world is different from Breath of the Wild.
And I think Breath of the Wild's Breath of the Wild for adults. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's not a kid's game. but I just whereas Breath of the Wild, the way it's designed is where it guides you into discovering things.
Right.
Without telling you where you need to go, but it guides you.
Well, now the
Elden
Ring,
Ring,
it somewhat does that, though.
It does it
with
a little bit.
With the not the runes, the you lost grace.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you'll see the, like, beam of light pointing in the direction.
But that's not what I mean by Breath of the Wild
right.
guiding you. Breath of the Wild has, like, the way the open world is designed where it's like, you'll see something, you're like, oh, what's that? You go there, and by going there, it'll lead you to spot something else, and you keep following it, and it leads you into discovering something. Elden Ring doesn't do that. Elden Ring takes the approach of, it doesn't tell you anything about the open world, but it still rewards you for exploring. Yeah.
No, I think what Elden Ring does well, it does guide you to like the main bosses and stuff, the main like quest, quote unquote.
Yeah, it makes sure that
But
you know
it
where you're
doesn't-
supposed to be going.
It doesn't. It just lets you loose in the world, though. Like I found, like you found locations that I haven't found yet, and I found locations you haven't found yet.
Yeah.
And we've been somewhat in the same area for the most part.
It's like I was
in Limgrave.
I'm in Limgrave, I'm in the intro area, and I go north, kind of where it kind of guides you to go. I'm exploring, and I go, I wonder if there's anything to the south of the starting spot.
Yeah.
And I go back and I look, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot.
There's a lot. It's actually.
It's a bigger world.
Well, I
than
remember you said that you were awestruck.
Yeah,
by the
it's
level
much bigger
design.
world than
It's
it even looks like.
it's
it should be.
actually. It's kind of crazy how big it is.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a certain boss you beat. Let's talk a little bit about the gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about bosses and things like that.
Let's talk about the gameplay. Or do you want to talk the world, like design, or do you want to talk gameplay first?
Let's talk gameplay first.
Okay, gameplay.
Yeah, because I like it. It's very.
So-
I feel it feels refined.
As playing every Souls game and Bloodborne, it feels like basically the best out of all those games. Like, I'm not lying. Like, it still has like the sludgy rolls of like Dark Souls if you are, if your equip ratio is too high.
Yeah.
You know, it's still you'll be really slow if that's the case. And my guy is kind of slow right now. But I have stuff that, you have a mount now. So that makes a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
And
I mean,
that's a huge part of the gameplay.
there are certain enemies that are really strong that you just encounter in the open world. And those ones, for someone like me, I can use hit and run tactics on.
Yeah.
There's this one.
And it's legitimate.
You go up into the Storm Hills.
Okay.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I think by the Stormvale Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's an area up there where there's like some like fallen, like broken statues on the ground. You ride past it, and this giant statue guy with a big axe gets up.
I haven't found that guy.
I
haven't found that guy.
He's not like a mini boss. He doesn't have like a boss health bar, but he's a strong
I have
enemy.
not found that
And
guy.
I beat him. I think he killed me once, and then I came back and beat him. But just because I kept using hit and run tactics on him, running in, getting a big power strike in, and retreating.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's talk a little more about the mount. So this is the first time for any From Software game, or at least the Souls games, to have a mount. And boy, they got it right. Like,
Yeah.
it's satisfying. It's fun to explore the world with it. You don't feel extremely restricted, because a lot of times, like, let's take Skyrim, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You're extremely restricted on horse. Yeah, you can climb mountains. So there
The
you
horses suck. in
but you
Skyrim.
can't do combat. You can't do any kind of, like, if you're
I don't use horses in
you
Skyrim.
use who
Like-
really does? But you use the horse to get from point A to point B, but you can't really explore with it.
Yeah, this is designed where
In
it's-
Elden Ring's
the
case,
horse is a tool.
the
to actually
world-
further your like experience.
the world's design where, like, it really feels good with the horse, and you get the jump pad things where you go soaring over a mountain, you know, and that's satisfying. And the horse combat works really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly one of the best horse combats I've experienced in gaming.
Yeah, it's.
I
Pretty
can't think of much else that tops that.
Good. Yeah,
The fact that you can pretty much do anything that you could usually do on
horse
foot.
combat can be kind of hard to get in games to get right,
Yeah,
because it often just comes down to you press a button at the right time to hit.
yeah.
And this does that too, but like what
But
I,
it
what I
feels-
like is I think what works really well with the horse combat in this is that you can dismount and summon your horse. or
When
your
you got to get
mount.
the hotkey function on that.
Yeah.
Put it on the, what is it called? Your like pocket.
Yeah.
But I forget what it's called, but like basically a
But the
hotkey.
ability to be able to summon your mount on
Because I've seen
like,
gameplay of
really
people.
quick.
They have the horse dismount ring. I forget what it's
Yeah.
called, the torrent ring or whatever. They have that in their like inventory, like the items. So they have to flip all the way down. And I did that for a little bit, but then I learned the hotkey.
Yeah.
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 And that makes it really satisfying because then you can ride up to a group of enemies, jump off, do a jump attack, you know.
Yeah, but then if you need to retreat or move quickly.
But the horse doesn't make you like invincible or
no, it goes down surprisingly easily.
Well, in fact, it can really screw you over. Now, the horse does take a lot of damage for you in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And so you won't get damaged, but your mount will. And also, it's like a weird, like, goat bull horse.
Yeah, I say
horns.
horse, but it's not quite a horse.
Not quite. It's a magical thing, but I love it. It's my buddy. But you, I was fighting this group of guys, and I thought I was doing all right. But then this big guy knocked me off my horse, and then I'm stuck on the ground, freaking out.
Yeah.
Like in a very vulnerable position.
My character takes a bit of time to get up.
So does mine.
And he gets knocked down.
I have well, it depends what weapon I use. Then I'll have if I use just a regular straight sword, I'll have a medium load.
Yeah.
Which is way better. But I do like my Big Daddy sword I showed you.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
But what I really love about the gameplay, the combat is nice and fluid. It's chunky, but it's not too slow, but not too fast. I mean, it depends what weapons you use.
The addition of the shield parry, like you can, if you block and then have the right timing, you can get a counter in.
Well, yeah, that's always.
What?
That's always been in Souls, though.
No.
Oh, you mean the block parry,
yeah?
Because this game incorporates a gameplay element from Sekiro without telling us, but basically posture.
Yeah.
So like if you let's say like hit a guy with a really big sword or warhammer or whatever, you'll do a ton of posture damage, and if you hit, if it's a hard enough hit, they'll get stunned, and then you can get in your visceral.
Yeah.
Same thing can happen with your shield. Like if they hit your shield a bunch, and if you have a good enough physical guard on it, they'll get posture damage. You'll get some posture damage, but they'll get more.
Yeah, but and it also depending on what attack they do, and what shield you have, sometimes they can go right through your shield and knock you down or something.
But what I really love about this game is the magic, because in the other Souls games, magic it could be OP, but it was a hassle to use. Yeah. You would have super long, like, charge up times to do pretty much any good spell, and it just didn't feel fluid. It didn't feel good. It felt like basically magic in the old Souls games. It felt like using an item rather than fighting. Like it felt separate from the combat. Well, I can say I play as an astrologer class. I'm doing like a battle mage build. The magic can be just as part of the combat as using a sword and shield. Like, it feels good.
I'm playing a confessor.
Yeah, that's actually what I started with.
Kind of mostly a melee build, but with some kind of support magic.
Well, yeah, you get that silencing spell where you can stealth around.
You get an urgent heal spell.
But that's the stuff you come with, at least. I mean, you can get whatever
you can get more stuff.
You just level up the right stats.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah,
buy spells
my guy, like,
at the round table hold.
I showed you, so I killed a dragon, and when you kill dragons in this game, you get a dragon heart. Mm-hmm. You take that to a dragon communion. There's a good island, there's a spot for it, but there's some other spots here and there. Take that to a dragon communion, you can pick out, like, a dragon ability, a dragon spell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And I have one of them, and I leveled up my faith and my, what else? My faith, not my intelligence, because I was already pretty high. Well, I can't remember. My faith and something else. Leveled those up. I think it might have been my... I don't know. I leveled those up, and I got this awesome dragon, like, flame breath attack.
Yeah.
And it has the dragon, like, an astral dragon head pop out, and it does crazy damage. And, like, I see a group of guys on the road, or even, I'll see, like, a small encampment. I'll check out who's all there. I'll maybe kill the outside guys.
Yeah.
But then everyone inside, just flame them with that. And that usually does the job. And I will say, magic, is a bit OP, especially in the starting area. Against any guys that are just physical based, that combat based, it's going to be extremely OP. Now, when you get into the magic area with the college and everything, or the academy, then you have to be more crafty. And if you are going to use magic, you got to use the right type of magic.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want to beat a certain guy, like you want to beat a guy that uses holy attacks, and if you want to use magic against him, you better use like some kind of sorcery, like intelligence based magic, that kind of stuff. But then there's some spells, it's just dependent on what the spell does. Like if it's a flame spell, it's going to do fire damage, not magic damage.
Yeah.
So if they're vulnerable to that, you're good. Like it doesn't matter if it's a spell or not. It's the same thing as like if you use the fire bomb against a guy, but more efficient.
Yeah.
But yeah, the magic feels really good, and I can totally Gandalf it. And I love the dual wielding. Oh, it's so good.
I haven't tried dual wielding.
I haven't really dual wielded like melee weapons that much. I mean, a lot of people love doing that, like do the dual like shamshears and like all those quick like. And we'll get into the Ashes of War, which is one of the biggest parts of the game.
Oh yeah.
That and then the spirit summons, which are excellent additions to the gameplay because those. You can be any kind of build and still be able to use them. Now, you won't, like, let's say if you're like a knight build, I forget what they're called, Vagabond or whatever.
Yeah,
your FP bar will be low, so you can only use them so much. But they don't have any stat requirements. If you have them, you can use them.
Yeah.
You just apply them.
You just have to find them.
Yeah, you have to find them, and you kill these little creatures to get them, or you can buy them off merchants. But they can really change your gameplay style. Like, I got this one. So, I'm trying to do a battle mage thing. And so, I went and found this Meteorite Staff, which is one of the most powerful staffs in the game, at least early game. And it gives you a boost to gravity spells. Well, I also found this, I forget what it's called, but basically it's a spell where you hurl 3 meteorites at people.
Oh, cool.
And what's great about it, even if they hit you while you're casting it, as long as you're at the tail end of casting it, it will still cast. And what's great about that one, it's literally launching rocks at people, so it does like physical damage. It knocks them back. And it's really OP, honestly, especially with my staff. But I got that. But I'm the type of gamer in any game, really. If I find out about a cool armor that I want, like I kind of play a bit of the Fashion Souls playthrough sometimes.
Yeah, admittedly, I do that in games where I care about what my character looks like.
Yeah. But the thing about any Souls game, though, that comes at a cost, especially if you're purchasing gear, because with runes or souls, in this case runes, you use that to level up or purchase things. So it's like, if you want to buy something, well, you're not going to be able to level up. Essentially, like, and usually I would recommend that you level up at first for a while. Yeah. But what's great about the Souls game, any of the From Software games, the best gear is what you don't buy. You earn it. You beat a boss for it. You find it in a
I like
hard
that
area.
That the runes just represent just this one currency that's used for everything. It simplifies it, makes it really easy.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I've always liked that about the Souls games. Like, really simplifies it instead of having, gold and then also
so
your
it's just
XP.
like there's something you want to buy from a merchant, you just have to go.
Basically, it's like, do I sacrifice my XP for an item? Or
pretty much. Yeah, you can go. Okay, well, I can go and grind to level up, or I could spend that time grinding for an item, but not level up.
Yeah, but I would recommend grinding to level up. But anyways, when they first announced the game and showed like the early gameplay and the beta gameplay, when the beta was out, I didn't get to play it. But one of the classes was the Enchanted Knight. Well, they got rid of that class and replaced it with the Prisoner class, which just shows you the middle finger that Miyazaki was giving to us.
The Prisoner class is
I heard
good,
it actually.
though.
It's pretty good, but I thought his helmet was stupid. So I didn't. But then again, the best Souls players always wear the dumbest looking shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like you'll see summons or people invade you and they have like a giant like the Onion Knight hat or like
I hate when people invade me because I never win against them.
Dude, this guy invaded me.
And I'm just minding my own damn business, and I get the message so and so has invaded, and I'm like, God damn it.
Well, you don't get like invaded anywhere in this one. You have to be in certain areas.
Yeah.
But I got in this area and this guy invaded me, but he was actually under level, like way under level to be invading me.
Yeah.
And I just did my fucking magic on him and just wrecked the shit out of him. I mean, it just took about 3 of those, the crest spells. I forget what it's called. I don't know. I'm tired. It's a sorcery. Okay. But yeah, I fucked this shit up. But anyways, the Enchanted Knight has the Carrion armor set, which is basically like battle mage.
Yeah.
And it's a good blend of physical protection and magic protection. And I wanted it. Well, it was in a really hard area. I had to kill 2 bosses to get to that area. One being Margit, which I did solo. I did it the right way. I had the NPC summon, but he died quick anyways, you know.
Yeah.
But the second boss, Godric, God, he was my first real wall, to be honest. Well, him and there's a mini boss, like an optional boss, Bloodhound. He's like a Bloodhound Knight. I forget his name. He's by that lake in the south region.
Oh.
Southeast region of Limgrave.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got that curved greatsword. And it does bleed damage.
Oh,
so if you
nice.
get enough hits on him, the bleed will build up.
I've heard that's one of the best
Anything that does
stats.
bleed, poison. I mean, but bleed, like when you get that build up, I mean, it can give enormous damage because it damages like 30% of their health or more sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you'll get enough bleed damage where they just die instantly, even if they have like half their health bar left. But yeah, I beat that guy. I got that sword, and that really changed everything. Like when I got that sword leveled up a couple times, like I was one-shotting all these normie enemies. And I love it for riding the horse because you have this big curved great sword, and you can do a charge attack, and it will grind on the ground.
Oh yeah.
And while it's grinding on the ground, it will damage any enemy.
My sword will do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you do that, and then you release for the real attack, and the tree sentinel. Have you beat him?
No.
Well, hit and run. Just hit and run them, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe spawn a couple spirits. And yeah, the spirits, by the way, those are a lot of fun. They not only improve the gameplay, but like, let's say you have a huge group of enemies and you're like, oh, this is a little too much for me right now. But if you have the spirits, you can at least distract some of them, or, they can kill off a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I got some skeletal militiamen, got wolves, I got some imps, and they like run around throwing bombs and stuff.
I have a jellyfish thing.
Oh, I've got the jellyfish.
Yeah. I've got the wolves too, but
yeah,
the wolves.
Wolves are honestly a good one.
They're
to
good.
use.
The wolves are like the tutorial one. That
Yeah.
Pretty
But
much.
they're still viable.
Yeah, I use
A
them.
good distraction at least. And that's what I like about the spirits. Like, you're never gonna beat a boss by summoning the spirits.
Yeah.
And just relying on that. They're a distraction. That's all they are. Yeah, they'll do a little damage and you can build up damage together, but it's never gonna beat the boss for you. Like,
Yeah.
and really the same thing with NPC summons.
Mm-hmm.
They're a distraction. They help bide you time to help distract the boss so you can heal, cast spells, whatnot. And anyone that says spawning NPCs is not legit, they can go fuck themselves because it's an integral part of the game. And it's always been an integral part of these games. Okay? So get out of here.
This is one of those games where you just got to use the tools they give you.
Exactly. But yeah,
it's like back when I used to play Call of Duty, and I would use the grenade launcher attachment for the gun. and everyone would get mad at me for
Yeah.
using that. Like, you're not like
People will- okay.
like that's cheating, and I would just be like, then why do they let me
People
use
will
it?
get mad at you for using any gun in Call of Duty as long as you're like wiping the floor of them.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story. But anyways, I was like, man, I got to have the carry-in armor for my character. And it looks cool, has good stats, and, but it was in a really hard area. An area I shouldn't have been in. But remember how I beat that Bloodhound guy?
If you're crafty enough, you can do it.
Remember how I beat that Bloodhound guy at the curb sword?
Yeah.
The bleed damage? Well, so you can purchase an Ash of War after that. I think I purchased it. Yeah. But anyways, you get an Ash of War after that. Not immediately, though, because you get the one that comes with a weapon where you do a charge attack, you like attack, go back, and then you do another one forward if you want.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, it's good for like evasive, like getting quick attacks in. Well, anyways, there's another one you get from killing that guy. And this is one of the best Ashes of War in the game, and you can get it early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, you have to apply it to a weapon, and you can't apply it to a shield, which does kind of, lose it a little bit, especially if you already have a weapon that has an effect. Like my main weapon, I can't apply Ashes of War to it because it already has one.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't change that out.
Yeah.
But, I got a straight sword that I like enough, that I got upgraded enough, and it helps my equip load. Or no. Never mind. I put it on another great sword. But I do use the straight sword. I have a straight sword where I can cast magic with it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I use that one a lot, just normal casual play. And then when I know I'm fighting a tough guy, I'll get out my big bad boy, But anyways, I found this Ash of War, not ass of war. Sorry. But I found this Ash of War that gives you a dash ability.
Oh, cool.
Basically, you can teleport at short distances, dash. And I was not getting through these guys because there's all these sorcerers and mages just bombing me with all their sorcery. And then there was these other like minor guys that would one-shot me. But I was like, damn it, I want this armor. And I could have, taken the time to fight them all. But that would have taken forever. And it was like 1 a.m, and I was like, man, I just want this armor, and then I'll go to bed. I'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I used the dash ability, ran through, and then if a guy's about to tag me, just dash through. Dash through, dash through. And it's so broken. I love it, though. I love it. But, and I got the armor, and I was happy with that. And that whole area, I believe it's called Lucaria.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Lunaria? Whatever. It's in the westernmost part of the map. I think it's the westernmost part, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But when you beat Godric, because you already realize even in Limgrave and like the eastern areas and the peninsula, this is a big game. Well, you beat Godric, and we'll post screenshots on our Instagram. Check that out. Follow Odd Drunk Pod at Instagram. Check out Linktree. But you beat Godric, and then you get out of Stormville Castle, and then this whole new region opens up to you.
Oh, yeah.
See all these mountains in the background.
And you realize that that area you were in was like
just like
the starter.
a tenth
area.
of the map. Yeah. It's crazy. And it's a beautiful game.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
I've seen people complain, it doesn't look as good as the Demon Souls remake and all this shit. Or, there's some frame rate drops. For one, it's a brand new game and patches are coming out. Two, I heard the frame rate drops are bad on PC.
I've heard that, yeah.
But we're not playing it on PC,
I'm
so
playing it on
suck it.
Xbox One.
I haven't noticed too many.
Yeah, I get
only when you like go into
ones, but
when you go into a new area or like dungeon, you'll get some, but it's nothing distracting.
Yeah.
These people are.
I get the occasional frame rate problems, but I'm playing on a last gen console.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen, but it doesn't bother me that much. But like, these, and there's a lot of butthurt fans giving it bad reviews, and I don't try to base my purchase. I already pre-ordered it way before I saw any reviews.
Yeah.
I was like, even if it's just another Souls game, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
You want it to be, but it's not just another Souls
No,
game.
yeah. It's
But it really is like I'm still. I mean, I have 10 hours in the game, which isn't much, but I'm still finding things that I never thought I would discover, and it's just it keeps surprising me, and it never feels grindy. Yes, you can grind and farm, but that's only if you choose to.
Yeah.
You never have to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It's very open. And I'll give kudos to whoever came up with the world design, Miyazaki, George R. R. Martin. Well, obviously the developers and, everyone working their ass off. Because From Software is only a team of about 200 developers.
Yeah.
Which is pretty small for a game of this scope.
Yeah.
Really small. The world design, I love it. With the big Elden tree, or the Erd tree, the golden tree. It's because a lot of people thought it was going to be more generic fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's... I don't think it is. I don't think it's generic by any means.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of inspiration from
First
things.
thing I did when I got...
That's like the world tree.
The first thing I did when I got the mount was I just took off in the direction of the world tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then I died.
Yeah, it starts getting harder.
I don't remember how.
But it's... it really is a sight to see. And... yeah, it may not look as good as the Demon Souls remake. Like, not every texture is going to be 8K or whatever.
The Demon Souls remake was almost like a tech demo.
Also, that was made for one system, the PS5.
Yeah.
It was not made to be available on all current platforms.
Yeah.
This game is available on last and next gen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, it's not going to look like a tech demo, but it still looks damn nice.
Still looks good.
And what really matters to me, it's a detailed world. It's well designed. It's got great art direction.
Really,
oh my
really
god,
good.
Great art design.
That makes a big difference.
And I love the weather systems, the day-night cycle. Like, it's got everything you'd want in an open world game.
Yeah.
And like when you look into these vistas, like with the craggy rocks and like ruins in the background, and you see the fog. And they use the fog really well in this.
Oh, yeah.
Because that makes things even seem more grand and more far away and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a sight to see. It really surprised me on that front, actually.
It takes kind of the philosophy that, like, Bethesda had with Skyrim, where, it's designed in a way where everywhere you look, there's something cool to see.
Oh, and speaking of which, like, it's dense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you think you're in an open field with nothing, but you're going to find an enemy camp. You'll find items. You'll find a weird cave or a dungeon. And speaking of which, I discovered... So, I was exploring the eastern regions in, like, the Mistvale area.
Yeah.
And there's these giant bears. And I found this giant bear, like, as big as a house, scratching a tree.
Yeah.
And I thought I could sneak past him, but he noticed me. He chased me to the ends of the earth until I found this ruin in the middle of the forest. Okay? And I found this ruin, and there was an elevator. And I was like, okay, that'll get me away from the bear. Cool. Well, I activated the elevator, and it's a classic, From Soft elevator. that doesn't make sense.
Going.
It literally, I had time to make a sandwich. It kept going.
Damn.
Like, I was kind of getting scared. Like, it's like, where am I going? Like, this is going really deep. But it keeps going. And then I discover this whole new area. And I finally found the map for it.
Mm-hmm.
This underground area is as big as Limgrave, at least.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Like, it's literally covers everything under that.
Just in the...
But this area, real quick, it's... unlike any other area in the game. Like, it's really unique. Like, you're in this underground, like, city, like this ancient city, and these ruins, they have like an Egyptian look to them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it looks like there's stars, but that's really just all the crystals in the cave.
Oh, that's cool.
And it has a really cool, like, it's very unique compared to the rest of the game. Like, it has a cool color palette, like purples and orange.
It's also the game is designed in a way where there are areas, even like in Limgrave, where I know I'm probably going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
There's just north of the starting, like, spot, there's some catacombs that I wandered into, and I went into the door, and then something jumped out and murdered me like in one hit.
Yeah.
And I did not go back. But I'm like, I'm going to go back later.
Well, and there's these
Find out what's in there.
what's within the world. So you have the sites of grace, which is your checkpoints, your main checkpoints, but you also have the stakes of Marika.
Mhm.
So sometimes you'll die to a mini boss or in a hard area, and then it gives you the option to spawn at the stake of Marika, which is much closer,
Yeah.
usually much closer to where you died.
Yeah.
Because those are randomly kind of scattered throughout the
Go Get
game.
your runes back.
Get your runes back, and it rewards you for fighting random enemies.
Yeah.
Because it gives you back your Estus, or not Estus, your Crimson Tears or whatever. It gives you back
Yeah.
your health potions and magic potions when you kill a group of enemies.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the game. And that works really well for open world, because if it was just open world Dark Souls, that would get incredibly frustrating.
It allows
It wouldn't
you
be
to
hard.
sometimes
It would
keep
just be
going without, because every time you rest at a site of grace,
everyone comes
everyone
back.
respawns.
And, yeah.
So it gives you the chance to be able to keep going
And keep exploring.
resupply without.
As long as you
everything
as long as
respawning
you
yet.
take the risk of taking out a group of enemies, you'll be rewarded.
Yeah.
And like the caravans with the giants and stuff, and those giants will fuck you up, man.
Oh yeah.
But and you can get good weapons from those, or good gear, good spells from those chests. So high risk, high reward situations. But it never feels like it's punishing you for exploring. Not
No,
really.
And that's kind of
So,
what I like about it. Like, so like I was
Sometimes.
struggling a little bit with Margus or whatever his name is.
yeah.
I only gave it like a few tries. I wasn't like struggling to the point of like, this is frustrating.
You were kind of testing the water.
I was testing the water, and
I'll do that with bosses.
And I was just like, I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
So
And you can do that.
I went exploring, and I spent another like 4 hours exploring,
Yeah.
and then
And see what's great about that? You can explore, level up, find weapons, and then you'll be ready for that boss.
I went down and I killed the Beast Man mini boss.
Yeah, I finally got around to killing him. He's in that like coastal cave.
Yeah, it's
The demi-human.
close to the.
I thought those were orcs for a while, like little orcs or goblins.
Yeah.
Remind me of that.
So
And
I beat him, and then I stumbled into the cave that Patches is hanging out in.
See, I haven't even found Patches yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy part. Like, we were both playing the same game, both generally been in the same area and finding completely different things.
Yeah.
Well, in my first playthrough, I was a confessor.
Yeah.
Which is a good class, but I decided to go, sorcery, astrologer. I want to play with magic.
Yeah.
But, well, this was before I got my mount, okay? I was just exploring, and this is in Limgrave, so be careful.
Yeah.
Well, now it won't be as a big deal because you can fast travel and you have your mount.
Yeah.
But to fast travel, anyways, I opened this chest and it activated a transporter trap, and you'll find those in the game.
I think you told me about this.
And those can be used to get to high level areas to farm early. Like, they can be your advantage. But this was my first time playing. I literally looked at nothing about the game. I just got into it. And I was like, ooh, chest. I killed a couple rats, found this chest. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it was some good loot. I get transported. And I literally get transported to one of the hardest parts of the game. And the far eastern part, with all the like blood red area, like all the poison and all the weird scary enemies. Like, everything's scary. The music's horrible. Like, it's literally hell. Like, the sky's red with black trees.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't have my mount, okay? And I couldn't fast travel. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. And I started a whole new character.
Yeah.
But after getting my mount, I went back to that area and I found a good early farming spot where basically all you have to do is, it's at the impassable. Or do you want me to tell you?
No, you can tell. Yeah.
Okay, it's at the impassable Great Bridge, and all you have to do is just leave your site of grace, go up the hill a little bit to the encampment, just to the outskirts of it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear a guy blow a horn, and they fight all these like big horror hell dogs.
Yeah.
And each time they kill one of them, you get about 500 runes, and there's like 20 of them.
Nice.
So you just sit there. You can make a sandwich. You can make some coffee, do some homework perhaps, and
my
XP
really
farm.
early game XP farm that I found was the cave that Patches is in. There is a group of maybe 6 or 7 bandits that will, very close quarters, that will all rush at you.
Oh yeah,
And they go down really easy, and it's
decent.
right next to a site of grace.
Oh, so you
go in, kill them, you get about 400 or 500 runes, and then you go rest, and then come back.
Well,
and as long as you don't let them corner you into the wall, you can take them out.
I'm gonna be honest with you and the listeners here, even you, Colton. No, but I looked up good XP farms online because I was like, I don't have much time to play this. I want to level up. I want to be able to. Well, there was a spell that I couldn't use yet, and I wanted to use it.
I'm not one of those people that thinks it's like a terrible thing to look up.
And there was a
stuff
that bloodhound weapon. Yeah. I couldn't use that because it required like almost 30 strength. So I'm like a beefy mage. Like I'm a battle mage. I got high strength, okay dex, really high intelligence,
you're
okay fate.
You're an Arnold Schwarzenegger battle mage.
Yeah, but well, I found this other weapon that I have to have like 50 strength for. So
damn,
fuck.
Yeah,
yeah, but.
I think
I won't tell you where.
My strength right now is like
because I know you want to
15 or 16.
Because I know as a new to Souls relatively, and you want to just experience this game, so I won't tell you where.
Yeah.
But there's this area where a boulder will spawn. Okay, and there's a cliff. Well, if you dodge the boulder, and really you don't even have to dodge it that hard. You just get it to go in your direction. If you let it go off a certain part of the cliff, really any part, all it has to do is like just shoot out enough to do it. You will get 2,000 runes every time. Basically, like 1958. Nice. But basically 2,000 runes every time. It's killing something that they forgot to get rid of down there, or I don't know. But you can literally do that, not have to fight anybody. And I did it for a solid hour. I was just listening to music and I just did that, and it killed me once. It killed me a couple times because it's like a one-shot boulder.
Yeah,
I
don't think there's.
But you just get your runes back after it kills you, just right down the hill.
I don't find grinding to be like a super boring or a pain in the ass. What I don't like is when games force you to grind.
No, this doesn't force you to.
But when you're not forced to grind and you're
this
doing
is only if you want to use
when you're grinding willingly, I think it can be
I mean it's only if you want to level up fast or use a weapon, but you can fight anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to.
Well, that's where I see it takes inspiration from like Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't tell you can't.
Well, it actually kind of does when that boss humbles you.
Yeah.
That tells you can't.
Apparently.
But you can still give it your best shot.
Apparently people have been like beating it.
Oh, yeah.
That first boss that you encounter that humbles you.
The Tree Sentinel or Margit?
Oh, no. When you first make your character... And you go out.
Oh, dude!
And is it Godric that?
No, it's I don't know what the boss is. A random boss, but it's a tutorial boss. But
yeah, it's
you can beat it. Yeah,
yeah. But it's kind of designed where it's supposed to kill you. That's to teach
like in
you
Demon
about
Souls. There's the tutorial boss. Well, the whole point of it is that. Oops. The whole point of it is that it teaches you that you die and then you're resurrected because that's part of the story.
But people have been beating it though.
No, yeah, I mean you can.
Well, it's like
but you only get one shot though. You have to start a whole new game.
Well, it's like in Breath of the Wild, you finish the tutorial level in the Great Plateau, and if you want, you can go fight Ganon then.
Yeah.
And people have done it, and it's very difficult.
Yeah,
but you can.
Yeah. I don't think that would be possible in this game, though.
Yeah, probably.
No matter how skilled you are, get out of here.
You just die from being
boss is just one shot.
You just die from being in proximity to
because poison buildup or scarlet rot or whatever.
Yeah,
bleeding damage. But yeah, in Demon Souls, there's a tutorial boss, and I killed him because I started a new character. and he was weak to magic, so I used that. But and you get some early items, but then this other boss shows up, and you can't even fight it, and it just kills you. It's like fuck you, you can't.
Yeah,
You can't avoid this.
that's the developers saying like,
No, yeah,
you little
But,
prick trying to beat our boss.
but yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, I mean, it exceeded my expectations personally,
Yeah,
and I just love. Yeah, the exploration, the combat. I mean, everything just works, right? In the words of
what's your character's name?
I went with Samson.
Okay,
I don't know why I was thinking that. I don't know.
I see
I went
that
with
neither
Samson.
one of us went with funny names this time.
No, not
I've been reading the Aeneid.
not on
so
my first character.
I made my character's Ascanius.
Scanius.
From the Aeneid, but
Mm.
I was considering naming him something like really stupid. I was gonna make a character based off of cricket.
Well, I was thinking about making
Um,
a Nicolas Cage character again, but
Yeah,
and the character creator is pretty good.
it's pretty. Yeah,
Like I see people bitching. People bitch about anything, dude, and it's so funny because this game's way more mainstream than another Souls game,
yeah,
any other Souls game,
it's getting a lot of attention.
and you have all these normies coming in, not understanding what a Dark Souls game is.
You invited me to the Facebook page group.
that
and-
guy gave all the,
Yeah, and half of the posts
but half of the posts
are
are
just
like
people going like,
rage quit, like
I can't stand this game. It's so hard.
return
I
that
keep
shit.
dying. And then everyone else just being just like,
Get good.
get
Get good. Yeah. Oh, we're almost to an hour. We can go a little longer. Tell me your perspective, your story, because I know you were still pretty reluctant for a while, really until more gameplay and reviews came out.
Yeah, I was like interested in it
Because I kept trying to talk you into it.
because the open world sounded cool and all of that, but I'm not a Souls fan really.
Yeah.
So what
And that's
kind of
fine.
convinced me is it was the day before it came out,
Yeah.
and
When I know I was talking about
the
it.
review
and then,
embargo had been lifted, so I was
Yeah.
watching YouTubers show their gameplay and talk about the open world and the RPG elements in it,
Yep.
and it made me finally go like, okay, this actually, Souls or not, sounds like an awesome game.
Yeah.
Like, and I've given my fair shot at playing Dark Souls.
I still don't think you've given your fair shot.
Yeah,
But I won't give you shit for it because you're playing Elden Ring.
yeah. I'm not a Souls guy.
And that's fine.
That-
I'm not
but
like an
that's not-
elitist.
That's not what I like about Elden
I'm not one of those elitist Souls fans. you
Yeah,
know?
that's not what I like about Elden Ring, though. It's not the Souls part of it. It's the it feels more RPG
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
than the Souls game, than Dark Souls. The open world, kind of what I said before, where it doesn't force you really
You have so much
too
choice.
often to do one thing.
And it's, yeah. I mean,
You know,
because I already pre-ordered it, I was getting it regardless of the reviews.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was going to get it. Like, even if it was just another Souls game, I would be happy. Because I've always, well, I haven't always been to those. I've told you this story, but quick, summary of my Souls experience. Got Dark Souls when it came out. But, I was playing Skyrim, and I was like, oh, another fantasy game. This looks fun. Got completely humbled. Rage quit. Hated it.
yeah.
Quit for years. But then I picked up Bloodborne because my uncle was like, you got to try Bloodborne. And it looked cool, and I liked the horror elements of it. And that game is also still a masterpiece. But I will say it will be hard to go back to the other Souls games after this.
It's and the other thing is, it's just the type of games I generally like. Dark Souls isn't quite up that alley.
Right.
But more recently, I've been going back and playing some more old school games, Castlevania, and
Yeah, it's
the
very
original Legend of Zelda,
very Metroidvania. Like,
and these games that don't hold your hand.
yeah.
So I've gained more of an appreciation
Yeah.
for this style of game. But again, like I didn't buy it because the Dark Souls part. I bought it because everything else look really cool.
Yeah.
And everything else is so good.
Well, and
that
the
it makes me more
but the
willing
souls,
to put up with the souls part.
the souls aspects of it blend so well.
Yeah, it's
and the fact
it's
that
pretty well balanced.
the fact that you don't have to fight a boss to go get good stuff or explore or have fun, because like in the old games, like if you didn't beat a boss, you're not going to the next area.
Yeah.
You're stuck. Like
It's
you're
kinda
not
like
doing
if
anything.
if you can't beat this boss,
You're not.
that's it. Like
Like
that's the only thing you can do now.
pretty much. I mean,
is to go beat this boss.
you could go to another area and try to find another boss, but really all it is boss after boss.
Yeah.
And this still gives you that experience. Like
Yeah, you can
when
still
you
do
go
that.
to like Stormville, that's Dark Souls right there, dude.
Yeah.
Like Stormville Castle, that's pure Dark Souls, and I love it. But for players that aren't as into that, well, you can just go off and explore,
Yeah.
and then level up, and then come back, beat Stormville Castle, and then you have a whole new region to you.
Yeah.
And
And it's
just
I don't know,
when I
it's
found
just,
that underground region, I mean, it's just crazy how big it is, and how diverse the enemies are.
oh yeah.
Because, yeah, you'll have your foot soldiers and stuff, but then you'll have, like, the weird demi-human guys. Then you have giant lobsters. I found an area with giant lobsters, okay? And then you have dragons, and there's a bunch of them. They're not, like, proper main bosses, but they're tough.
Well, and also the game, what another
killed
thing
that
that's
one
cool
dragon.
about
I
it is
showed
it
you
lets
that.
you kind of set your own goals.
Well, yeah, I found that dragon, for instance,
not
and
that
I was
you
like...
can't do that at all in Dark Souls. You know, you can say, I'm going to beat this guy with, my fists.
You could do that.
And then you can, just hate yourself for...
Yeah.
but like, I made my character, one of the things I did is I made my character, and there's that, the barracks, those ruins right by the storm gate.
Mhm.
Early level enemies, and there's one big...
The giant.
There's a large... Well,
Oh, no, not the giant.
there's just
I think I know who you're
a big
talking about.
knight in there.
Oh,
that
yeah.
For a level, a new character can be tough.
Yeah.
And I came across them, and I was like, before I proceed, I'm going to kill all of these guys in this barracks, because I read the message that said there was something in the barracks, like underground.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to.
Oh, and
so I went around.
what do you think of
and
the messages?
I like them. They're
People
fun.
like
In the I found in the round table hold, there's an area where there's a bunch of books stacked up, and I saw there was a message under the books, and I knocked over the books to read the message, and the message was like, why are you knocking over books?
Well, have you noticed any of like the perverted Souls players?
Yeah.
Like there's a guy slumped over a castle wall with his like ass sticking out, and it said like try finger. Or, like,
Well, I saw one where it was because you can show, you can do an emote for other players to see.
yeah.
And there was a skeleton like dead in a chair in a field, and it says try head, and it had the guy where the emote where he kneels down and puts his head down, and it was lined up where he puts him in the guy's crotch.
Oh my god. Well, I left one. You know that maiden? I forget her name, but she'll like hug you and everything,
Yeah.
and you'll get the blessing from it. I put I've been getting appraisals on it, and that heals you, so that's good. But I put try hole. I'll have to check how many appraisals I got, because I played like hour after that, and I got like 6 appraisals in a row. So I felt pretty good about it, because that's the only message I had. Not a helpful one or anything. Just
I also
meme.
just like how the type of messages that the Dark Souls community does are like those just try hole.
Or like the trolling ones.
Friend ahead.
Now the trolling, like when they tell you there's a secret wall and everything, and then you hit it and then it's not a secret wall.
Yeah.
I never believe them, but you can't not check.
Can't not
Because
check.
there is going to be the hidden walls.
The time that there is a hidden wall, you're gonna be very glad
Yeah.
that you tried.
But then you have like the good Samaritans, they'll leave messages saying liar ahead or stuff like that,
Yeah.
And then you'll get guys that say jump like by a cliff or like stuff.
But then it's like, do you not though?
I don't. I never do that. I can tell you that much.
That's the type of thing where I'd be
but-
like, I'm tempted.
Right. Unless I see
I know it's probably a trick.
And I love there's actually platforming in this with your horse, and like because your character can jump now without running. I
don't know where it is, but
that can be satisfying.
It was somewhere in the beginning area that I just fell into a hole. I just got too close, and my character just. I think it was just a game engine thing. He just slid into the hole. Shit. when I put down my controller for a second, and then my character slid into the hole and died.
And the multiplayer in this is a lot more simplified than the other Souls games. Yeah. It's more accessible. You still need the items to do multiplayer, like the dried fingers and whatever. But it has a multiplayer menu. Like you don't have to do like a weird. Like, you can just go in the multiplayer as long as you have the items.
Yeah.
And there's certain areas in the game where you're more likely to find cooperators, like especially when you're out in open world. Because if you just leave a random summon sign in a field somewhere, the chances of someone finding it, but it makes it easier. And I played a little bit of multiplayer. Well, obviously PvP. That one guy tried to gank me, but I ganked him real bad. But I did do some jolly cooperation for Godric, because I was like, man, I just want to get to this area. I'm going to get the armor, and then I won't do any more cooperation. But that's part of it. But, well, the first guy died, like, instantly. And then I died shortly. The second guy, we both died at the same time.
Yeah.
But then the third guy, he had this giant hammer, and he would get these hits that would stagger him, and then I would run up, do the critical attack. Or, just spam magic, just spamming magic. But Godric's second phase, though, watch out.
Okay.
Area of effect attacks, flame attacks out the wazoo. Because he literally I guess that's a spoiler, but he gets a lot of flame attacks and insta-kill. I mean, insta-kill.
Damn, yeah.
Like, seriously. Fire, if you don't have any good fire protection, it will insta-kill. Like, that dragon I fought. If that fire would have touched me once, I would have died. Like, that gameplay I shared.
Not even attempted to fight the dragon.
But yeah, that gameplay I shared, it looks like it was easy. Not. Like, if that fire touched me once, I would have been insta-killed. Like, I died to him like 10 other times, but then I figured out with my sword, I was like, all I got to do is just get hits with that. I don't have to do anything fancy. I can just get under him, and then ride away on my horse.
Yeah.
And just that clip alone... Maybe I'll even put that on our Instagram. But, like, that shows you... Do you remember the bit where he's coming down with flame breath and I'm riding along, and then I ride up this rock and jump, like, stuff like that. Just stuff like how the horse flows like that. It's just so satisfying.
It makes it also
creates, it feels epic.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say
and also how like the environmental destruction.
Oh yeah,
when a dragon or a big bear is chasing you, knocking down trees and like all that kind of stuff. Like it's even if you're getting your ass kicked, it's so sad. It's so fun. Like, it's like epic.
You're like, yeah, I'm getting my ass whooped, but very cinematically.
Yeah, very cinematically. And that's what I always love about these games too. Like, it doesn't need cutscenes to be cinematic.
Yeah,
and like when you're fighting a big group of, and sometimes you'll find warring enemies. Like you'll find like a bunch of demi-humans fighting knights.
Yeah,
and you can just sit back and get the XP from it, or you can join in, or you can spawn some spirits, and then you kind of have your own little crew. Like. Yeah.
Or you can just sit back and like make a bet on who's gonna win. Be like, be like, if they win, I'm gonna take.
But then a giant bear, attacks. But yeah, and I love how it's got the open world, but then it's got the classic dungeons and castles, and all that.
Yeah.
Like it best of both worlds in my eyes. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I mean, it's a good game,
and it's again what I said at the beginning of the episode.
And I'm so happy.
What I'm liking about it right now is it's a good game where I can just play it for like an hour.
No, yeah, you don't have to dedicate. I've seen people
some nights it's all I have.
This one guy was like, I already got 150 hours in, and this one guy was like, have you seen the grass or like the sun lately? Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook today someone is already on their second playthrough.
insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush this game anyways.
They're already starting their second.
I
playthrough.
definitely
I'm like,
don't want to
"Geez."
rush through the story or through the main bosses. I really want to
It's probably gonna,
explore.
this game's going to take me a long time to beat.
Well, I've heard people, if they're just going through the main thing, especially if you're not experienced, that's like 80, 90 hours.
Yeah.
Just doing the main path.
Yeah.
That does not account for grinding, does not account for exploring, for dying multiple, just doing the main path, that's like an 80-hour game,
Yeah.
which really makes me happy.
Yeah, and some games that works with where it's some games you get to the point where you've been playing it for so long and you're just because of the way
I think you were just talking about this
the
game
way the
earlier.
games are left like the way the game is paced makes you just be like just fucking be done already.
Valhalla.
Yeah. I'm 80 hours into Valhalla.
And still.
I haven't beat it yet.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like,
I gave up on Valhalla for like 6 months.
right.
And then I came back and played another 10 hours of it, and I'm still not done.
See, and what's so great about this game, yeah, you can spend 80 hours not beating it, but that's doing things you want to do.
Yeah,
That's
this is the type of game
exploring
where,
the game. Like,
it's paced in a way where it makes you want to take your time with it.
yeah. And I'm telling you guys, like, you might think Limgrave gets a little old. Oh, all the aspen trees everywhere and whatever, and like ruins. But then you find a new area. Like I found this area where it's like a giant kind of marshland. Found the underground area and the sorcerer area. And also, I must say, and I know Skyrim's a 10-year-old game, and I love Skyrim, but it's going to be hard not to compare it a little bit because it's an open world fantasy game. And one thing that kind of gets me about it, though, I can't say how much bigger the map is in Skyrim or anything. It seems like it's a lot bigger. But Skyrim did a great job of, really making it feel big.
Yeah.
But what this game kind of gets me on, though, some of these towers and ruins and castles and, like, mountainsides make you feel so small. And
I like that though.
Like my first playthrough with Skyrim, it felt that way back then. But now it's like you look at Whiterun, it's like a tiny town, and like Solitude, really not that big. College of Winterhold, but like this, like if there's a building with any kind of importance, it's huge usually.
Yeah.
Like the scope of it, like and the verticality, I appreciate that too.
Yeah,
it's just a really in-depth world, and I must say,
you see that mountain over there. You can go climb that.
You can go climb that.
It just works.
Yeah, but like, and I got teleported to another area of the game.
I did see a video today of this guy going, "Yeah, I just downloaded Elden Ring. Let's see how." Or he's like, "I just got Elden Ring. Let's put it in the disc and see how it is." Puts in the disc, and pans over the TV, and it's the, "Hey you, you're finally awake." He's like, "What?"
Skyrim. No, but I mean, this game, people are gonna be talking about it for a while. Okay, even if it doesn't get it doesn't need DLC. It's so big.
Yeah,
like, I mean. And with the multiplayer, PvP, and everything, I mean, you can just... It's a game that will keep giving.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you got people already New Game Plusing it and everything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, I mean... and there is...
Calm down.
There is fun in that, and I love New Gaming Plus Souls games. But I don't see how they have lives, though.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
I have like 6 to 8 hours in it, and that's... been me playing it.
But you know what? I do know I have some friends that they work, and then as soon as they get home, because they have nothing else going on, they just game.
I wish I could do that.
wish, yeah. But one day. Yeah. But it's just it's magnificent. Like seriously, when you see these 10 out of 10 reviews, I don't think no game is perfect. But as far as games as an art form goes, Elden Ring is like...
There is one perfect game.
What's that?
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
Of course.
The Smash Bros. one? Or...
the GameCube?
Oh,
I think it was GameCube. I don't know.
no, but like as far as video games as an art form goes, and I do believe they can be an art form.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have like the copy paste ones, Call of Duty, and Assassin's Creed has its hits and misses, but the very corporate. But like
I like Assassin's Creed,
From
but it's
Software-
a copy and paste.
From
franchise.
Software, Miyazaki has always treated his games like an art piece of art.
Yeah.
Whether you like the gameplay in all of them or any of them, you can at least say that every location is unique or means something, is part of the
Yeah.
story, and you figure
And
it
he
out through
doesn't
discovery.
sacrifice gameplay for weird shit like Hideo Kojima does.
Right. But also Miyazaki doesn't sacrifice his vision.
Yeah.
Like, he went with his vision on this, and with George R. R. Martin. And I think George R. R. Martin, he did like a lot of the kind of background lore and like setting.
Yeah.
But the actual like story and like enemies was Miyazaki.
Yeah.
But like every corner of the map has something for
Yeah.
you. Like not one part of the map feels wasted.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate. That's what sets a good open world from just an open world. Because there's plenty of open world games out there.
Yeah.
Because that's the
too
thing
many,
to do.
some might say.
Too many, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But,
a lot of the problems they encounter, and Assassin's Creed, I'm looking at you, Far Cry, I'm looking at you, pretty much any Ubisoft. And a lot of times, all it is just fetch quest. Go liberate this tower over and over. The same thing. Yeah, you're in a big map, but it's not diverse and it gets repetitive.
Yeah.
This, it doesn't really feel that way to me, at least so far.
Yeah, I think
Each location, each dungeon feels unique. Like I found this like cave dungeon that has scarlet rot everywhere and guys throwing poison sludge at you. And then, as I mentioned, the giant lobsters. Like what? And
giant lobsters.
and then this area with like these weird giant big-headed dogs that I accidentally spawned in.
Yeah, I like that. I enjoy the feeling of like I'm
Like
exploring
it's weird.
and I turn a corner and I see something down there and I go, I don't know what that is.
And I found some squid men. Like I love how weird it can get.
Yeah.
And how unique the world is. Like, yeah, the Erd tree is like the obvious one, but like it's not your typical fantasy world. Like I'm telling you, like you find just these weird little areas, weird little events, weird NPCs, like Patches. And Patches is in every Souls game, that bastard.
There's the jar guy that's stuck in the ground.
The jar guy.
You found him?
Yeah, the jar
Yeah.
people. Like, what's with that?
Yeah, I had to
But I love him.
smack him. A
Yeah,
bunch
you
of times
smack
with a
him
big-
out.
with a big sword.
And he's like the new Solaire,
Yeah, he was.
but
just,
he's a jar?
He was like, oh, that almost killed me, but I'm out now.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's weird.
He's the
but
new
I
Solaire.
like him though.
Yeah. But yeah, I love how creative they get with the enemies and the world design and yeah, for example, me finding that elevator that led to an entirely new underground area.
Yeah.
And it has all these like ghost guys and like and also, but it's like in a real area. Like it's got grace points. It's got its own map.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, we can just keep gushing on about it, but just go install it, play the game. If you're a Souls vet, you'll love it. If you're not a Souls vet, if you're not a Souls fan, but you like these types of open world games,
Yeah,
you
you
like
might-
Breath of Wild,
you
you
might
like
still
Skyrim,
like this. Yeah.
I mean, the main thing is realize that it's still a Souls game.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I mean, don't go in with the assumption that you're going to be able to play this casually.
I'm seeing some people online complain about how hard it is and how they thought it was going to be different, and I'm like, I'm enjoying it, and I'm not a Souls fan, but I knew what I was
No.
getting into.
No, I mean,
Yeah, like,
I guess just it's an amazing game if you treat it with respect. Like, I mean, that's the best way I can put it. You got to treat the game with respect. You have to actually use skill and prep and like figure out how to beat these guys and like their move sets and everything. Like you can't just go in, kill a couple bosses casually. No. Now you can explore casually, but even then you're going to encounter hard enemies. You're going to encounter weird dungeons. You're going to find a chest that just teleports you to hell. And you know what? When that happened to me, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, God damn it, From Software, you got me. I was like so giddy and excited to play that game, and then it just absolutely fucked me.
Miyazaki, you rascal.
But see, me, when a Souls game just absolutely wrecks my shit, that just makes my day.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I paid for, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it does everything a game should do. Like, I mean, it's got a great world, great level design. It's pretty to look at. Plenty of weapons and enemies and magic. And, I mean,
Yeah.
I
think,
I legitimately, I mean, I can't really complain about much. I mean, I try to be objective.
yeah, I don't have much to complain about it.
Like, I mean,
like, of course, you could complain if you didn't know what you were getting into by going into.
but
a From
that's
Software game,
complaining about.
But
That's
you know.
like, okay, that's like getting, when someone gets for example, you go to a restaurant and you get a ribeye well done, and then you complain that it's overcooked. Well, it's like, that's what you asked for. Like, but,
I think though we can give it our stamp of approval though.
you think so?
Yeah.
After an hour and 20 minutes of gushing over it, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go download the game or buy it, a physical copy. I downloaded it, but, you know, get the game, enjoy it, give it a real good try, and I can almost guarantee that you'll like it.
And hey,
If you go in
while you're
knowing,
spending hours playing that, you should also check out some of our other episodes.
yeah, listen to some of the Odd Drunk podcasts while you play.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to some lore, check out our Dark Souls
You
lore.
think we should do,
Elder Scrolls.
you know how we do commentaries? Should we do a commentary?
Elden Ring commentary.
Just on,
We don't have any gameplay footage.
just but a commentary on the entire game.
Mm.
Yeah. It'll be what we release for 2020.
Honestly, I have thought about like doing like gaming live streams and stuff.
I think we should. I think
Video
we should.
content.
We should record ourselves playing Elden Ring, the entirety of it, and it's all the content we release in 2023. Just that commentary of Elden Ring. All 80 hours of it.
And more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80 plus hour, yeah.
But yeah. Also,
What?
we're gonna be doing a Batman review next week. Don't even worry about it. I got my tickets for Sunday. I'm excited to see Rob Batten action.
Yeah.
Okay. And go listen to our Twilight commentary if you want to trudge through that and watch that movie again. That just came out a week, not too long ago. But yeah, there's that. And I really love that one idea for an episode you have in the future, but I will not tell our listeners about it. But it will be a lot of fun. I can promise you that. Maybe.
What he's referring to.
I think I remember what I did refer to, but I don't know if I'm remembering the right thing. But anyways,
I'm not sure.
Anyways, everybody, praise the Elden Ring. Go buy it, play it. Do yourself a favor, get this game. Spend the $60-$50, whatever, on it. It's well worth it.
This is jolly good.
It's a jolly good time. Jolly cooperation.
Jolly
That's what I say.
cooperation,
Yeah. The words of Solaire. But anyways, that's the episode. We will catch you guys
On the flip side. I don't know. Streets ahead.
on the streets ahead. Just roll the outro. Just roll it. Just roll it.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To visit all of our current streaming and social media platforms, visit the link tree in the description. If you enjoy the show, we would be appreciated it if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast would like to remind you to drink responsibly and not to drink and drive. Okay Colton, you can roll the outro now.